It's not Mike's fault.
Welcome to the NAMM Show.
Hey everybody, welcome to another year of NAMM coverage. I was just there for a little bit today. I had a bunch of meetings this morning, starting off with this. I've had a little career change where I'm kind of teaching full-time now, so I'm kind of involved in the whole music education thing a little bit. So there was this big hoodoo going down, and you know, Mrs. Lennon showed up, which was pretty amazing and scary and cool.
We all know that music has an incredible power. It has a healing power. We're going to use that and cover the earth with music. Let's do that. Thank you.
And Quincy Jones was there.
We're the only country in the world without a minister culture, and it's sad. I've got just got promoted to commander of the Division down there in Iraq, and I always cried as Jack and I get into this. I even cried. Our music is played all over the world, and we don't have a minister culture, and it's very important. Culture is the foundation of the soul of the country. You know? The food, the music, and the languages is what it's all about.
And we're just very honored that Yoko chose the NAMM show to kick off John's 70th birthday celebration and to show her continuing support.
If there's no country, it isn't hard to do.
Now, getting to the important stuff, the stuff that people want to know about. Here's some gear that I saw today that didn't completely suck. Anyway, first is these white guitars here. They're made by Ritter. As you can see, they've got this flying saucer kind of rounded shape. They're all white. They've got this kind of specialty pickup on them. Note to 6-string bassists, or basically any bass players that have more than 4 strings. Let's just cut to the chase. If you want to play on like the 5th and 6th and 18th string on a bass that's way up on the neck and a little tiny thin string that sounds exactly like a guitar but kind of a crappy version of a guitar, well, come on, dummy, buy a guitar. If you want to play bass, play frickin' bass. You're supposed to be the low notes. That's how it works. You know, guitarists don't need a big fat string on the bottom either. And if they do, they're dorks too. Get with the program. I mean, it doesn't sound good, and it looks stupid, okay? No offense. And I went by the Schecter booth today. Now, you know, there's only so many different ways you can make a guitar. It's going to be look like a Fender or a Gibson or whatever, but basically, if you try to make something that looks just like a Rickenbacker, someone's going to contact your lawyer. So, that's probably not advisable. And then, this is cool, check it out. Went over and saw this amp called G1, and I haven't exactly heard it yet. I heard that it sounds good, but it's kind of a cool thing. It's a tube amp that's completely battery powered. You can plug it in, but when you plug it in, it will charge. And apparently you could, like, you know, drive off into the desert on top of a mountain or something, unplug this sucker, and rock at full tilt volume with real tube action for like 6 hours before you need to plug it back in. Which is a little weird, but hey, you know, I've played enough clubs to know that when you're in a crap club with bad power and bad electricity, you could die. So this solves that problem completely, which is groovy. Then I saw this little box, the Lavana Studio Wizard. I asked them, is it a racked tube amp that'll drive speakers in the studio while you're in the control room turning knobs? And they said no. I said, is it an amp? No, it's a preamp. I don't understand exactly what it is, but it looked cool, so I took a picture. And then I saw this poor kid, goodness gracious, just surrounded by crazy guitar gear and hot babes. Bummer for him. And since I had whipped out the camera to take a picture of the hot babes, I figured I'd show some of the equipment too. And I guess this is some kind of a pedal of some sort, but it's not something you stomp on. It's something you put on a stand and let the audience see that you have a guitar pedal in the shape of a shrunken head with glowing eyeballs. So then I walked over to, I just couldn't help it, walked over to the last bastion of creativity in the music instrument business, the little section of the drum area with the wacky stuff. And I saw this company from Spain making these things called sim bags. Just a little piece of fabric, but it snugly fits over a cymbal, which is kind of cool. So you can pull it on and keeps your thing nice and clean. You can basically take it off of there, put it in your bag, literally never touch your cymbals ever, which is kind of a cool thing if you're that anal about your cymbals being nice. You hit them with sticks all day as hard as you can. I mean, it's okay if you can touch them once in a while. It's not going to hurt them that bad, but whatever. Anyway, and over here we've got basically a big giant shaker that fits on a hi-hat, and you hit it with your foot, it shakes. Now, you probably don't going to want to accidentally think it's your hi-hat and hit it with a stick and, you know, break it, but I don't know, kind of cool. I think it's probably a little too heavy to put literally on the same stand as your hat, so he had it on a separate stand, which is kind of wacky. But hey, why not? Okay, check this out. Here's this dude who's got basically a drum carpet, and he's selling little strips of Velcro that are like little pre-formed things. Basically, it's the layout on the carpet where your stuff would go. And these dudes are making basically steel drums, but instead of oil drum cans, they're using used up cylinders from propane tanks. And so they're kind of this dome shape instead of a convex thingy. But they're pretty cool. I couldn't really hear them because it was loud in there, but whatever. And let's see. Then I came across the booth for K guitars, and these things just blew my mind. They were so pretty and so interesting. And I had to talk with the guy about this, that, you know, Leo Fender or Gibson or whatever invented a few shapes for guitars way back when in the 50s or whatever. And everybody since then is you know, there's not much you can really do to make them different. And 90% of the time they're a bunch of pointy spikes. But for once, here's a guitar that's got this kind of retro vibe that's very interesting and looks nice and doesn't like scream, I'm an idiot. So I'm stoked. And the retail price is not that crazy on these things. And the quality's pretty good. The bass kind of looked and sounded like a Hofner. Probably felt like one too. I'm going to check it out some more when I go back. And it looks like Flea from the Red Hot Chili Fleas is putting out his own bass, which is not only cool looking, but there's a whole bunch of little short scale ones that are, I guess, are for kids. And there's this cool picture of Flea with some kids rocking out that just, it made me happy to see that, so I took a picture of it. And his little logo is like a little smiley face with a big gap in the teeth. And I guess, you know, he has a gap in his teeth, so maybe that's why. I went over to one of my favorite booths, St. Blues. They've got this other one, and I'm looking at it thinking, oh, it's like a Strat shape, but it's actually somewhere between a Strat and a Tele. And nice color on that. Go get one. And then I saw a big crowd of people standing around, and I thought, wonder what, you know, lame rock star that I don't care about is jamming over here. But no, it turned out to be 4 bleached blondes with big boobs. So that's as good as famous right there. Anybody who's willing to make triangular guitar cabinets and set them up like a giant pyramid, that is badass. It just is. So hats off to them. And then finally I snuck by my buddy Henry's booth at Jaguar Amps, and he got an award from some magazine. They awarded his amp like 5 out of 5 stars. So he was pretty stoked about that. He showed me the little magazine where they covered him.
I couldn't believe it. I was like, what? I was amazed.
But I'll be heading back there and talking more about them probably in a future episode of this year's NAMM Edge, if I'm not too sick and tired to do more of these. So, hopefully I will see you later.
It's over!
Peace. And Yoko, give Julian that money.